Jessica Alba cut off her hair. Find out more about it in our Hair of the Week. What's up, TouchUps Salon fam? This is Anthony Colello at Model Makers Hair on Instagram, and I'm going to be going over Jessica Alba's big chop. So Jessica Alba just debuted her new haircut on Instagram, and let me tell you what I think about it. So Jessica Alba just debuted her new haircut on Instagram. Let me tell you what I love about it. So first and foremost, I'm excited when people are cutting off their length. We've talked about it before in previous videos, but it's a new beginning. It's a fresh start, and for a lot of people, their long hair just becomes a part of them so much that they can never break out of that. So I'm really excited that Jessica decided to chop her long hair. So let's start with first things first. What's her face shape and how does this benefit her? So Jessica Alba is an inverted triangle, which means it's an upside down triangle with the narrowest point being her jaw and the widest point being her temple. So it took me a minute to diagnose it because she's not a really strong inverted triangle. Some people are very strong inverted triangles with extremely wide foreheads and very narrow chins. Since Jessica's an inverted triangle, what does that mean? That means that the width at her temples is the widest point of her face, whereas her chin or jawline is the narrowest point on her face. So is this good for her short hair? Well, let's find out. So they released a whole bunch of glamour shots about her new haircut, because when you debut a new haircut and you're a celebrity, you better put out some new pictures. So here's a great shot of her. You can see that there's just that little bit more width at her temples than there is at her jawline, and the way that the hair is styled kind of offsets the larger forehead space that she has. This is a great shot for her, and I really like it. The styling also has a little bit more fullness in the top of the head, which helps to distract from larger foreheads. So if you have a larger forehead, you're going to want to build some volume elsewhere in the haircut in order to mimic this kind of styling. Now, when I was going through her Instagram, there was a couple of shots that kind of threw me off. The first one being this one right here. The way this hair is styled, I'm not in love with. Like, I love the length on her, I like building the width in the jawline, but I want to see something more in her crown. I want to see some more texture in the sides of her face. Because what's happening is it's so counter to what she is that it looks like she's got a flat top and a very large forehead in this picture, which we know that she doesn't. If I look through a lot of her other pictures, I was able to find ones where the styling was a little bit different. This one's tiny, I'm sorry. But in her family photo, they got the hair flipped over the top. That builds volume in that space, and it builds volume in here, which seems counterproductive to the widest at the temples, but really it's building a lot of width here, which is the important part, because when you're narrow in your chin and you're narrow in your jaw, you want to expand that space. So if you have too much expansion, though, it can look opposite of what you're trying to do, which is what we saw in the other picture. So when I was looking at this one, it's like there's so much width at her cheeks and there's not a lot of lift at her top that I see a different face there. And that's what haircutting is all about. Haircutting is about finding the best shape for your face and how to style it. So what I would like to see is a little bit more of a modern bob texture on her. So this is an example of the texture I would like to see her do. This blonde lady on the left, she's got a really great wave that accentuates the width of the haircut kind of the whole way down. So it's a triangle, which counters the anti-triangle that Jessica has, but it's a lot softer and it's got a lot more fullness. The way that Jessica's hair was styled in a couple of these pictures is very much narrowest at the top, widest at the bottom, which is technically correct. However, I like to see a more fullness through the sides because it's going to allow her to bring out more of her beautiful face shape and accentuate her features a lot better. Now, another thing I really love about it is it accentuates her neckline. It makes her neck look longer, which is going to make her look slimmer. It's going to make her look taller. One thing for you short people out there is that if you cut your hair shorter, you're going to look taller. When you have long mermaid hair, it drags you down. Like, I'm not tall, I'm 5'3", I'm really short. So when I have really long hair, it has a tendency to actually make me look shorter, whereas if I build some volume into my hair like it is right now, it's gonna make me look taller. Now, it's imperceptible to the human eye. It's not like you're gonna be like, oh, what do you like, 5'6", 5'8", whatever. But I can tell you that people see it as dragging you down. Now, that doesn't mean that if you have long hair, you have to cut it off, but you have to find a way to build volume and maybe bring the length up some. That's why I like that the collarbone length right now is really popular, because the collarbone length works on a lot of different body types. It's not just face shapes when you're talking about long below the shoulders hair. It's also your body type. And so if you want to bring out your body type and make it look longer and slimmer, sometimes actually cutting length off your hair is going to do that for you. We've all seen the lady with super long hair, and sometimes it's not their best look because all you see is the hair. Now, for a lot of people, this is a self-esteem thing. Like, their hair is their safety net, it's their blanket, it makes them feel beautiful, and for that, I'm all for it. Like, as a professional stylist, at the end of the day, we just want you to be happy and we want you to feel beautiful. And so if really, really long hair on a really short frame makes you feel beautiful, then we're all for it. But if you are open to change, then sometimes that change is going to be really beneficial to elongating yourself and making you look taller and slimmer and all of the things that we all want to be. Now, if I could make like one change to Jessica's haircut, it would be bangs. Some kind of bangs, curtain bangs, face framing fringe, something like that, because it would really, really soften her forehead space and bring that attention down. The problem is that in some of these shots, the attention is being brought to her forehead because it's the lightest thing in the picture. It's just like makeup. Whatever you highlight is what you're gonna see. Well, if you're wearing dark hair that's short and your face is exposed, we're gonna see the largest space of your face that you have. So in the shots like this one, that's what I'm looking at first, is I look at her forehead, then I look at her face, then I look at her hair. Whereas if she was blonde, I probably would go in the opposite order. I would look at the blonde hair, and then I would look at the face shape, and then I would look at the forehead, because I would go from the lightest features to the darkest. So in the same article that was highlighting Jessica's new hair, we can see Lily Collins' new haircut. And I really like this style of curtain fringe. I think this would actually work really well for Jessica if her hairline would allow it and the styling would allow it, because it softens her face. Like, Lily doesn't have a very big forehead, but at the same time, look at the difference between where your eyes are attracted to. And here I'm attracted to kind of this entire area, while in here I'm looking immediately into her eyes. Now, Jessica has beautiful eyes, and you can just imagine if there was a soft fringe here, that's what we would see, and that's what we would pop. And then we'd see her eyes and her beautiful red lips and all that stuff first. And it's about first. So that would be a change that I would make as a professional if she was open to that change. A lot of people have a fear of commitment to bangs, but you know what? There's some amazing bang extensions that are available that really do a great job of giving you that option, but not making it a permanent option. So before we go to the verse of the day, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Comment below whether you like Jessica's new haircut. Comment if you agree with my thoughts on her new look. Comment if you disagree with my thoughts on her new look. And let me know if you have the same or similar haircut and how you like it. Now let's get to the verse of the day. Okay, so today's verse of the day comes from Romans 5:3. It says, "We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance." You can kind of picture this as working out. You work out and you get tired and you get sore and it hurts and you don't like doing it necessarily, but it increases your endurance and your capacity to do physical tasks. It helps you live a healthier lifestyle. Well, I believe that God allows us to go through trials and sufferings in order to give us the endurance that we need in those areas. Sometimes you're going to have relationship problems that cause you suffering, but it's going to give you endurance for the next relationship or even in the healing of that single relationship, in order for you to be able to be a stronger and better person. So remember out there, if you're going through suffering, we'll pray for you. We want you to know that you're loved and God still loves you, and that those sufferings are going to be temporary, but He's making you a stronger and better person at that time. So don't forget that. Try to keep it at the top of your mind. I know when I go through trials and sufferings, it's not always easy to think of what's the bright side of this. But I can tell you that having gone through much suffering in my life, that these things are true, and that the sufferings that I went through made me a better person and helped produce the endurance that we're talking about here. All right, thank you guys for spending time with me going over Jessica Alba's new haircut. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Don't forget to leave a comment below whether you love it or hate it. Follow me on socials at Model Makers Hair on Instagram, or the salons at TouchUps Salon out here in Chandler, Arizona. And if you're ever out here, please come by the shop. Let's get a new haircut on you. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Be blessed and peace.